So here we go. I want to introduce you to Farmer Jed. Now, Jed has been very successful in his life, right? Jed, he went out, he worked his land, he sold his hay, he sold his goods, and he amassed a huge estate. Jed was so successful and he amassed a huge estate. Do you know what the main indicator that you have been very successful, too successful, in fact, it's the main indicator that you've been too successful is if you start making man-sized mazes out of your bushes, right? If you start making man-sized mazes out of your bushes, maybe you're too successful, right? But I digress. He did well for himself. Manicured lawn, got the pool house for the in-laws whenever they visit, and the only beneficiary that Jed has is his daughter Ellie Mae. Now, Jed raised Ellie Mae well. I mean, she worked the land right along with him, but he doesn't want her to have to manage this large estate all by herself. So what Jed did was he went ahead and he sent out a mailer to all of the eligible bachelors in the small town that they lived in, right? And they all showed up. They drunk his food and they drank his drink. And at the end of the night, Jed took them to the backyard and he said, "Now I'm going to tell you the reason why I brought you all here. I'm on a mission, right? And if you jump in this pool and swim to the other side, I'm going to give you one of three things. One, if you jump into this pool and swim to the other side, I'm going to give you $1 million. Two, or if you jump in this pool and swim to the other side, I'm going to give you my estate, that pool house, that nice house, that manicured lawn, that man-sized maze made from your bushes. Or three, I'm going to give you my daughter's hand in marriage. And keep in mind, if you get my daughter's hand in marriage, you get all of it, the money, the estate, all of it, right? And he said, now, this is no small feat because you have to consider the fact that in this pool, there are crocodile. In this pool, there are snake. In this pool, there are piranha. In this pool, if you swim from one side to the other, I will. And before he could get it out of his mouth again, he heard a splash in the water. And 6.4 seconds later, John emerged from the other side of the pool, and Ned, excited, said, "Good God, son! You did that in a world record. You went in there from 6.4 seconds from one side to the other. You must want $1 million." John said, "No," still out of breath from going from that one side of that pool to the other, avoiding all of those hazards. Still out of breath, John says, "No, I don't want $1 million." He said, "Well, if you don't want $1 million, then you must want my estate, that the main house, the pool house, the man-sized maze bushes." He said, "No, sir. No, I don't want your estate." He said, "Well, good God, son, welcome to the family. You must want my daughter's hand in marriage. Well, you get all of it." He said, "Sir, no disrespect, but this is a small town. We all Ellie Mae, no Ellie Mae, and nobody here wants to marry Ellie Mae." So Jed says, "Watch your mouth, son. But if you don't want $1 million, if you don't want my estate, if you don't want to marry Ellie Mae, what do you want?" He says, "I want to know the name of the man that pushed me in that pool." Right? And usually when I tell this story, everybody laughs. I usually do it in a group setting. The majority of the room is laughing. But what did I tell you? All truths are parallel. What are you going to do when somebody pushes you in a pool, metaphorically speaking, right? What are you going to do when you get that sudden call that one of those employees that just did something that you told them to never do, now you're liable? Or if you don't own a business, you have a family, what are you going to do? You get that call in the middle of the night that your daughter or your son was just involved in an accident, and now you have to take care of the grandkids. Or what if your spouse was involved in an accident, and now they lost capacity or even died, and your whole life has just changed. What are you going to do in those business scenarios and in those real life personal scenarios when the stuff hits the fan? You can't be trying to figure it out on the go like most people. Now, you can do it, right? But why do it? You need to have a plan in place.